Ladies and gentlemen, good day, and welcome to the Ramkrishna Forgings Limited Q3 FY21 Results Conference Call, hosted by ICICI Securities Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference, please signal an operator by pressing star and then 0 on your touchtone telephone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Rushad Kapadia from ICICI Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Inba. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Q3 FY21 Results Conference Call for Ramkrishna Forgings Limited. We have with us from the management, Mr. Naresh Jalan, Managing Director, Mr. Chaitanya Jalan, Whole-Time Director, Mr. Lalit Khaitan, ED and CFO, and Mr. Rajesh Mundra, Company Secretary. I would now like to hand the floor to Mr. Lalit Khaitan for opening comments. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rushad, and good afternoon to everyone. We welcome you to the con call hosted by our company for the quarter and 9 months ended 31st December 2020. The total operational revenues for this quarter has been rupees 402.17 crore as compared to rupees 250.69 crore in the corresponding quarter. The operational revenues for the 9 months ended December 2020 has been rupees 770.49 crore as compared to rupees 889.31 crore in the corresponding period. Company has achieved an EBITDA net of other income of rupees 78.17 crore for this quarter as against rupees 47.51 crore in the corresponding quarter. EBITDA net of other income for the 9 months has been rupees 122.26 crore as against rupees 166.96 crore in the corresponding period. EBITDA margins net of other income stood at 19.44% in this quarter as compared to 18.05% in the sequential quarter. However, due to shortage of containers and congestion in ports in this quarter, the company has to incur additional cost of about rupees 3 crore on logistics during this quarter. Otherwise, EBITDA margin could have been higher by 75 basis points. We have achieved a total capacity utilization of about 82.9% in this quarter against 49.12% in the sequential quarter. We have achieved a domestic sales tonnage of 17,366 tons for this quarter as against 9,620 tons in the sequential quarter. We have achieved an export sales tonnage of 8,048 tons for this quarter as against 5,951 tons in the sequential quarter. In previous investor presentation, we used to give forging sales quantity. Now we have revised the same to net sales quantity. Export sales for this quarter has been rupees 155.80 crores as compared to rupees 113.90 crores in the sequential quarter. Company has uploaded an investor presentation providing requisite details. We request to the investors not to raise any customer specific queries during the con call. Thank you. Over to you, sir. Sir? Yeah.
So may we open the line for questions now?
Yes.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who has a question may press star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Our first question is from the line of Basudev Banerjee from Ambit Capital. Please go ahead.
Sir, congrats for good set of numbers. Just going by the breakups in the presentation, sequential domestic volume growth looks pretty strong, even more than commercial vehicle industry growth sequential, roughly. So if you could explain how that got achieved through value addition or market share gain or new product customer addition? And if so, how much that is sustainable?
I think we will not be able to exactly quantify in terms of how much, but basically, like in the last call which we had said, that we have improved in terms of content per vehicle with all our existing clienteles. So because of this content improvement, the domestic sales have improved.
So broadly, percentage-wise from a same vehicle, if you can say how much has been the rising
I
trend
think
in the content?
close to around, if from the same vehicle, it should be close to somewhere around 20-22%.
That's great. That's great, sir. And that will only continue or further enhance on that?
Yes.
And if you look at the realization per kg, the trajectory, which is roughly not that great. Is it purely on metal price movement, or there has been some mix change per se? How to look at that?
Metal price exchange has not 100% been passed on yet, and basically there is some metal exchange which is there, as well as the value addition improvement which has happened is due to that also.
I was coming from because if I see your domestic realization is roughly flat sequentially, whereas steel price as per the news is up from like what 38,000 a ton to 55,000 HRC prices. So when
I think Mr. Banerjee, HRC price do not dominate anything in terms of auto or steels.
Directionally, I just tried to understand.
I think we had a price increase of 4,750 rupees per metric ton last quarter. And 100% of, we have not been able to yet, in terms of pass on, we have not been able to receive the amendments from the customer for 100% of the, some of the customers, yes, we have got, but not from 100% of the customers.
So should one take that as the reason why your raw mat sales is up 200 basis points sequentially?
Yes.
And that lag effect of pass on, can one expect to be implemented in coming quarters?
Yes, that lag effect, but we have already had one more price increase from 1st January.
Yeah.
So I think lag effect should get neutralized completely if there is no price increase in the month of April.
Understood. So in a quarter where there is no more price increase and the two lags of the price hikes happen, then the real gross margin will get reflected.
Yes.
And sir, last question from an exports perspective, if we look at the kind of multiple effect of US truck order book addition, so when one should expect the best case execution from a US truck export execution from your side, per se?
I think we are moving along with the market, and I think we expect to be on the upward trajectory and keep on in terms of capacity utilization improvement every quarter and quarter. So I think as of now, today we are best positioned with our additions in capacities and everything to really ride the upward trajectory in the market.
And last question, sir, any update on the new customer additions which you have been speaking in Europe and expansion in the non-auto space? Any comments?
In non-auto space, company is dependent both only on Indian Railways and the oil and gas industry, and both are right now sluggish. We expect the recovery in Indian Railways only in the second quarter of FY22. Till then, we don't expect any major recovery in Indian Railways. And in oil and gas, we are seeing some recovery, but I think by the next quarter, means quarter one of FY22, we will see a major recovery in oil and gas.
And I missed out in the passenger vehicles?
In a complete automotive, we are doing extremely well. Yeah, passenger vehicles also we have started in a great way. So I think overall in auto industry, we are doing extremely well.
So how much tonnage can one assume from passenger vehicles in your total 25,000 ton?
No, I think it is maybe only minuscule of 500 to 600 tons in last quarter. Going forward, every quarter is because passenger car size and volume are two different things. Sizes are very small, so tonnage wise it is not big, but in terms of volume, yes, it is big.
Sure, sir. Thanks. All the best.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Sanjay Dam from Old Bridge. Please go ahead.
Congratulations for a good set of numbers, sir. Yeah, I had one question. So when I look at your best quarters in the past, you all had a top line of about 400 crore, and you all did almost 500 crore, and you had a 100 crore EBITDA. As I understand now, your content per CV has also increased, and so when one looks at a normalized like-to-like situation, would it mean that this 500 crore revenues and with some increase in capacity, this would be significantly higher when you hit your next peak again?
Sanjay, I would like to sum up only with a small answer. We have just started the journey, and I think best is yet to come. I think we are not comparing in terms of previous quarter. I think we have just started the journey with all the cost reductions and other things, whatever we have taken. And I think in coming quarters, best is yet to come.
Yeah, so basically, just to put things in context, sir, is that you all are showing an 83% blended utilization. That brings up 400 crore revenue and 80 crore EBITDA. Yeah, so I'm just comparing your previous peak was 500 crore revenue and 100 crore EBITDA. At that time, you did not have the higher content per vehicle, which you now have, post BS6. So, it was just a comment and a query in that perspective.
No, Sanjay, I think in terms of 82% utilization is that at that time of capacity which is in place. But I think with the project already getting completed in last quarter and the current quarter, my capacity is going to increase by almost 50,000 tons. So yes. I think, and as far as content is concerned, content has gone up considerably very high. So I think 500 crores is not what we are targeting. We are targeting much better. I think every quarter you'll see considerable improvement going forward. As of today, we have not even seen what you are comparing today 500 crores when CV market was at its peak in 2018.
Yeah.
So CV market is today not even 50% of that peak. So we have let the CV market come to its peak, and then you can see where we'll end up with.
Yeah, that's our expectation too, sir. The other question is that the interest cost. If you all could give some sense of how you see that kind of any kind of a directional guidance there.
No, interest costs are going to remain at this level, Sanjay, and because we have gone for a little bit of expansion and all these things. So, but this is going to remain at this level. It is not going to increase from here.
Perfect. And between, sir, the last quarter and now our net debt has not gone up, is it?
Yeah, net debt is almost at the same level as of last quarter.
Sure. Thank you, and all the best, sir.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Ketul Dalal from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead. Mr. Ketul Dalal, could you please unmute your line and go ahead with your question? There seems to be no response from this line. We'll take our next question. That's from the line of T.S. Vijay Sarthi from Anand Rathi. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Congrats for good numbers. Just had a small doubt on the reclassification of your volumes. Does it mean that the only forged volumes are not a part of this volume data that you share? Am I right in the understanding?
So this volume are basically forged and machine both now, because whatever we are selling, this is the volume. Earlier we used to give the forged volume only for the entire sales. Now
Correct.
we have gone for the net.
So when you say net, you mean forged plus machining.
Correct.
So only forged. So there might be some components where you do only forged components. Now, is that included
Yeah,
part of?
there may be some forged component also. Yes.
But that's not included in the sales volume, right? That's what you mean by net.
No. Whatever we have sold, it's the volume for that. So it includes forge also. Some of the companies are sold as forge. The forge weight is taken for that, and whichever are sold as machine, we have taken machine for that.
But why this change in classification, sir? What is the reason behind this?
No, sir. Basically, we wanted to give the quantity, actually the sold quantity, not the gross quantity. Earlier, it was basically whatever is wastage also is getting classified in the quantity. So that's why we have revised that.
Okay, fair enough. And can you help me understand about your plan on this LCV exports to Class 5 trucks? What is the state and how should we expect the trend going forward? Some color on that.
I think in both in LCV and Class 5, we are doing a very good work in terms of our exports, and I think the export growth itself shows there is a exceptionally good work going on over there. In terms of tonnage, I think, like I said in my earlier question also, because the LCV components are small, it can be derived in terms of the number of pieces of volumes we are doing. In terms of tonnage, it is extremely difficult to derive any volume out of that.
Okay. And finally, on capex, what have you done till now, and what do you envisage this year and possibly next year, if you can help us?
Next year budgets are not yet freezed. Actually, next year budget, I think we will be able to tell you only after the. But as of now, in this quarter, I think Lalit will be able to tell what is this year's capex we have done.
See, we have done about 150 crore out of capex so far this year.
Okay.
And we need to add another 20-25 crores in this quarter. That's the plan for this year. And next year plan we will freeze sometime later. So with this capex, we will be able to commence our new capacities. We have already commenced our capacities on hollow spindle line.
Yeah.
And we will commence the production of 7,000 ton press line and railway facilities by March 21.
Okay. Sure, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from the line of Mitul Shah from Reliance Securities. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for taking my question, and congratulations for a good set of numbers. Sir, I would like to thanks for giving such a detailed presentation and expect similar presentation to continue going forward in terms of revenue breakup and auto, non-auto segmental breakup also. Sir, again, some clarification on the reclassification of your volumes, because if I look at the volume which you are giving now is nearly 15 to 20% below the earlier volume indication. So based on your comment, can we assume those type of 15% plus kind of a rejection were there, and only this 85% of the finished goods which we are selling to the clients, or is there any other thing why this adjustment?
No. This is the actual quantity we are selling to the client. I as earlier clarified earlier also that was the basically difference between the machining and the forging. So that's that difference we have eliminated now.
Yeah, so that is what the Vijay also asked, that there might be some component which you are doing only for. Is there any component which we are selling as a only forged component, or everything we are selling forged plus machining?
We are selling the forged component also, so that forged quantity is included in this quantity.
I think I would like to more clarify you that like 70% of our products are going in machine condition. Earlier, what we used to do, basically scrap was inbuilt in the tonnage which we were showing. Now what we have done, we have reduced the scrap content and made it as condition we are selling, and that's the reason the presentation has been revised accordingly.
Okay. So next is my next question is on this again LCV 50,000. In your presentation you have shown this 150 as a total capacity. So what is the status of that another 50,000 which we are planning to start by December?
I think a hollow spindle line we have already started, Lalit has already just now clarified, and the balance 7,000 ton press line is going to start, I think, somewhere by mid-February. Before the end of March, all the capacities of 50,000 tons will be in place.
So in that new capacity, you indicated nearly 500 tons kind of a numbers for PVs only we delivered during the quarter, right?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, sir. You highlighted that for passenger vehicle, our volume would be somewhere around 500 tons only in this quarter. So that is from the new capacity?
No, from the existing capacity only. New capacity for passenger vehicle, which is the warm and cold forging line, that is going to get commenced only by June 2021.
So in this 50,000 capacity, we have not done anything, or maybe minuscule volumes only done during the quarter.
Yes.
Then, sir, my next question is on the margins. Our utilization, based on what you have given in the presentation, was nearly 49% in Q2, and still our margins were above 18%. We have directly gone from 49% to 83% to utilization in this quarter, and still margins hardly improved by 100 basis points. So any understanding on this, if you can clarify?
I think Lalit, in the initial comments of his presentation, he has already clarified that we have incurred a freight cost of approximately 3 crores extra last quarter on account of premium freights for exports because of the availability of container. If we would have paid the allocated fares only, we would have increased our percentage by another 75 basis points. As well as in terms of exports, we have not been able to, because has been already a steel price increase of 4,750 rupees from 1st October. The lag effect only comes after 1 quarter, so that 4,750 rupees price increase is going to come into our balance sheet from 1st January only.
So if we adjust these both two parameters, one is the adjustment of the going forward, you will pass on the cost escalation to clients, and this one-time freight cost additional of 3 crore, then according to you, what should be the margin?
It should be somewhere close to around 21%.
Okay, sir. And sir, on the ASP side, based on your presentation again, average selling price on a YOY basis, particularly for the export market, has declined by almost 7%. So is it again a lag effect, or despite this currency is favorable this time?
No, basically, you need to check the commodity pricing in 2018. What was the commodity pricing at that period of time? I think the current commodity pricing and the contract is as per the current commodity pricing. So commodity pricing changes every quarter. So I think this 4,750 rupees coming in from this quarter, I think there is going to be that much of increase in terms of realization.
So my question is, last year Q3 versus this year, there is a fall of 7% YOY in average realization. Or realization,
like I told you, it also depends on the
mix change.
No, there is no product mix change. Only thing is that there has been little bit exposure increase in terms of Class 8 trucks and LCV, wherein in terms of volume is there, tonnage is not there.
Okay. Okay, sir. Lastly, sir, gross debt is how much you told?
It is same as the last quarter.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from the line of Raghunandan from Emkay Global. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Congratulations on stellar performance. Sir, few questions. Firstly, can you give some color on the revenue potential for LCVs and railways in FY22?
No, I think, Raghunandan, we will not like to mention anything in terms of projections right now in terms of LCV and railways in terms of top line. What we expect is that next year railway business to be back from second quarter onwards, and we have already our capacities in place, and we are quoted in number of tenders for railways, and we feel that by first quarter we will have a robust pipeline in terms of railways work from our new projects, right?
All the best in those tenders, sir. If I remember correctly, the capacity you have for railways has a peak revenue potential of around 2 billion. And how would it be for LCVs?
LCV, Raghunandan, in terms of we are targeting a close to around 500 crores business every year from LCV, both domestic and export taken together. So I think we should be doing close to around 50% or 60% this year and substantially in the next year.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you indicated that machining has reached close to 70%. Last quarter, if I remember correctly, it was around 60%. How do you see this share increasing in future? I think the target was to reach 75% by end of the year. Would that stay?
I think we envisage that by calendar year F21 and maybe by March 22, we should be doing close to 85 to 90% of our production machine conditions only.
And how would it actually impact your margins? Will of course increase, but would the return ratios also see a uptick?
Yes, both the margins and return ratios both will see an uptick.
And sir, gross debt is closer to 11 billion. And how do you see the reduction happening going forward?
No, right now the total overall gross debt is at 10.5 billion, and I think every year repayment is going to be close to 100 crores. In this quarter itself, we are going to repay close to 25 crores of debt. And as the business is performing, I think we have a robust strategy now to go ahead with the reduction of debt in the next year. Next year, we have a robust plan to reduce the debt from whatever margins we are making. But I can tell you that the debt has peaked out at this level.
Wonderful, sir. One last question. Company has been renegotiating terms of acquisition for ACIL. Any update on the acquisition process?
So still the hearings are going on at the NCLT levels, and certainly some progress has been made. As the matter is sub judice, so right now I can't update on that what is going on in the courts. But yes, we are seeing a progress there, and we are looking at the solutions in next 6 to 8 months.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you. Before we take our next question, we would like to remind participants to ask a question, please enter star and 1. Our next question is from the line of Abhishek Jain from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question. Sir, in domestic front, how was the contribution from LCV versus MSCV in third quarter? Hello?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sir, in domestic front, how was the contribution of LCV versus MSCVs in third quarter?
I think it is too small for us to right now take out that. We have not really worked out on the contribution level in terms of domestic LCV versus HCV as of now. I think it will take some time before the business enlarges for giving you that exact figure.
So in the last quarter, you had mentioned that it was around 20% of the total sales of domestic sales. So is it the same line number or?
I think it has the same line numbers.
Okay, and these are the incremental numbers.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, in export, what was the geography mix? North America, South America, and Europe? And how is the order book pipeline?
Presentation, we have already given you the breakup of our exports.
So, but you have started supply axle component to your customer in South America from the last quarter only, yes. And you have not mentioned any numbers from the South America.
No, I think we have already mentioned all the 3 geographies. I think we have mentioned Europe, North America, and other export continents.
So I'm talking about the South America opportunity, which business has started last quarter only.
No, the opportunity right now, last quarter only we have told you that it is going to be close to an $8 to $10 million business. We have started from last quarter, and slowly that business is going to grow in next couple of years. Man, it's not going to be that first year itself we will be able to $8 to $10 million.
So okay, sir. So what was the number in this quarter, sir?
I cannot give you the exact number right now.
Okay, sir. Sir, what was the domestic versus export mix if we take the gross sales tonnage number? Because earlier you were providing only gross tonnage numbers. So our model is based on that number only.
I think we have not worked out on the gross tonnage anymore. So we have revised the numbers of earlier quarters even for that. So I will not be able to give you any exact number to that.
So would you be able to provide us the earlier financial year's numbers? So it will be quite helpful for us.
Earlier
numbers are with the public domain only in the earlier presentation.
In the presentation, I think if you go, all the details are been put there.
But that numbers is matching with the production number. So earlier you were giving the numbers that was that is matching with the current production number, not from the sales number.
No, the earlier presentation
that was the
you have in the system.
Okay. Sir, how do you see the scrappage policy for your business apart from the pickup in the OEM's volume? So there are two possibilities. That first, it might be that recycled metals would be available at a cheaper rate, and that can help to reduce your RM cost. Or other possibilities may be that axle and other parts can be reused in vehicles, and that may be negative for the your business. So please give some color on it.
First of all, no OEM is going to use the recycled part for the fresh vehicle. That is absolutely ruled out, because everything has a shelf life. And if after 15 years or 20 years, if a vehicle is scrapped, obviously that axle cannot come back to the system on a new vehicle. And to answer your question, what we see for our business, I think we have not built our business model right now on the basis of scrappage policy. As and when scrappage policy comes, the shape and way of scrappage policy is going to determine the future, how we think about it.
Thanks, sir. That's all from my side.
Thank you. A reminder to our participants, if you wish to ask a question at this time, you may press star and 1. Anyone who has a question may enter star and 1. Our next question is from the line of Nishant Ross from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thank you for the opportunity. So my question is more on the Class 8 side, and there are obviously initial programs for some of your key European customers, including and American customers, including Daimler, where they're looking to introduce in the next generation Class 8 trucks on the electric side. So are you guys evaluating as to how you can benefit from that trend change, or how the content per vehicle kind of changes between a traditional vehicle as well as electric? So any thoughts on that? Even hydrogen for that matter. Many of them are exploring hydrogen.
Nishant, we are working with our existing customers very closely on the electric vehicle side. And I think it is very early right now to comment in terms of what can be the potential growth, because right now not even samplings have started. But yes, we are working very closely, and I think if at all Class 8 trucks or the European model of hydrogen, if it goes through, this can be a very big opportunity for RKFL.
Okay. So from an understanding perspective, when you say opportunity, it would be on new products or on the existing product lines that we do?
It's on the new product lines.
Okay. And the existing product lines,
to sum up your, I think what will happen, because if at all the electric vehicle comes through, we are right now in a big way present in axles, and in no vehicle axles can change. Axles will be always there. The major component which is going to change is the engine and some of the steering components, wherein we see a huge opportunity in terms of machined, fully finished jobs, which can create a new market and new geographies for us.
Okay. Okay. So longer term positive trend for you guys.
Yes, we are already in talks and working already closely with our existing clientele, both in Europe and in North America.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And on exports, sir, obviously you talked about passenger vehicles, but what are you looking at plans for passenger vehicles on the export side as well in the same
No, passenger vehicle yet not in exports. We are not looking at exports right now. We want to first concentrate in India and build up our base before we target export in terms of passenger vehicles.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Thanks a lot, sir. That answers my question.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from the line of Mitul Shah from Reliance Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for giving me again this opportunity. Sir, I have question on this. What is your understanding based on initial discussion for this current quarter? How Q4 should be looked as compared to Q3 on the domestic MHCV side as well as on the Class 8 truck side?
I think we are pretty well placed in terms of capacity utilization, and I think order books are almost full. And we cannot put any numbers to it, but I think we will do better than what we have done in Q3.
And sir, my next question is on the client addition or a geography addition during last 9 months YTD. Any major client addition we have done on the export side?
I think South America, we have already said that we have added a major client in the COVID times, and that is it. And we are continuing with our existing clients and revenue optimization from the existing clients.
Apart from South America, no other client addition either from the Europe or from the North America?
No.
And any new geography we are looking at from next 2 years point of view?
We are 2 years from now. I think we are not.
Next 1 to 2 years, are we targeting any
I think
new?
We are always, as a company, we are always for new customers and new opportunities. So that's already built in. So I think putting a detail on that is not possible for us. But obviously, we are always look for new customers and new geographies.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Sanjay Dam from Old Bridge. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Just a housekeeping question. How should export incentives be looked at, sir?
In terms of, I did not understand, Sanjay.
Going forward, so basically you hit a 3.44 crores you did came from export incentives, 9 months 11 crores. How should one model it going forward?
Sanjay, I will answer. Let me answer this question. Because you see, export incentive, there is a change coming from this quarter, the RODEPT in place of MEIS. That's the only change on the export incentive. So MEIS also, the provision government has given a very limited scope for this quarter. It was about they have limited revenue till December, and that also not at the full potential. So in terms of I will say provisions, we have not fully accounted for MEIS what we accounted for the earlier quarters. Now the RODEPT rate is not yet out, but we are looking at the similar kind of incentive what we were getting in MEIS, and there should not be any major change in the export incentives going forward.
Got it. So it shouldn't make any difference to us. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be largely same. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, you may press star and 1. As there are no further questions from the participants, I now hand the floor back to the management for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
We take this opportunity to thank all the investors fraternity for joining our call today. We wish all the persons a very blessed and good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, members of the management. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of ICICI Securities Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.